Some good news if you are hitting the road for New Year's. Gas prices are falling for the fifth straight week. GasBuddy reports that the average price of a gallon of gas now $2.75. That's down 22 cents from just a month ago. GasBuddy says prices have remained low despite the U.S. blockade on Venezuela's oil exports, a trend that could continue into the new year. For more, let's bring in the head of petroleum analysis at GasBuddy, Patrick Haan. Patrick, great to have you with us. Look, 22 cents in a month, that is a pretty significant drop. What's behind this?
Yeah, Elizabeth, terrific timing just for as Americans hit the road for the holidays. A lot of what's behind it is not only seasonal. We tend to see lower gas prices as we head into the end of the year. Gasoline demand is lower. A lot of Americans may be scratching their heads saying, wait, we just hit the road. So did so many Americans. But a lot of us remain parked during the holidays. Schools are closed, certainly a lot of folks doing more remote work. That's part of it. In addition, the price of oil at multi-year lows as OPEC has raised oil production. All of that pressure on increasing supply, low demand, and rising oil supply has put a lot of downward pressure on gas prices. And indeed, 40 states now where average gas prices are below the $3 a gallon mark.
Given that some of this is seasonal, Patrick, how long do you think that these price drops could last?
Well, I'm hopeful that we probably have about 6 weeks before we really start to get into the seasonal upward trend. So get your selfies with those ultra low prices. In fact, now 11 states where some stations are below the $2 a gallon mark. This probably will start to disappear as we talk about an eventual warm up in temperatures as we get closer to spring.
And that's because more people are out during that time, or demand for oil? Just sort of help us explain why we should be looking at that, and also why some places might be higher than that average we're talking about too, Patrick.
Yeah, certainly. The West Coast, higher than average, higher gasoline taxes, unique blends of gasoline. That all plays into what motorists are paying. In addition, those low price states, low taxes, proximity to oil drilling and refineries. That's all a big deal. Why I only expect the best and lowest prices to last another 6 weeks. Exactly as you mentioned, as we get into warmer weather, eventually we'll start transitioning back to cleaner, more expensive blends of gasoline for the summer. Not only that, but refinery maintenance, which starts in late winter, will reduce supply, and Americans are going to have that cabin fever once warmer temperatures start to hit. All of that will lead to gas prices that start going up in the spring.
Big picture, what do you tell people to kind of take advantage of these prices now? Any other tips you've got, Patrick, for how people should live it up as they're out driving for their destinations or back home from the holidays?
Certainly, there's still a lot of savings, especially with gas prices plummeting. It's common to find a 50 to 70 cent a gallon variance, especially if you're crossing other state lines and going into other areas during your holiday travels or your trip back home. So make sure to check prices before you fill your tank up. There's a huge discrepancy between states. A lot of potential savings there, but do enjoy this. Prices in 2026 still likely will be relatively low, so we're not expecting a whiplash at the pump. Another good year likely to come for consumers in 2026.
That is much welcome news when we're seeing so many higher prices in a lot of other parts of the economy. We will take very happily these low gas prices. Patrick Haan, thanks so much.